There's a great story that I first read in the collected letters of Alan Watts, and I'll tell you more about the book later on in the video if you're interested. And actually, I'm going to tell you more about the book anyway, regardless of whether you're interested or not. But it perfectly illustrates the idea or the purpose of this video. It's a very simple story, and if you get the point of it, you'll completely understand how you can get everything you ever wanted out of life by doing even less work than you're doing right now. And so the story goes, guy number one, he's walking along, and he sees guy number two, this other dude sitting in a corner, just bashing himself in the head with a brick, just repeatedly, over and over again, just smashing himself in the head. And naturally, it leads to some questions. One of which is, "Hey, why? Why are you doing this to yourself? What's the point of this?" And guy number two, the guy who's smashing himself in the brick, he says that, "Oh yeah, I mean, this is really painful, but it feels really good when I stop." I love that story, and even though the original context has to do with Eastern philosophy and the nature of the universe type shit, which, hey, don't get me wrong, I love that stuff too. But it automatically, like, it absolutely applies to basically getting what you want out of this life right here, like where you are right now. How many times, like, do you do things that are just like the equivalent of smashing yourself in the brick? And it's like, if you did not do those things, you would be so much further along than you are now. I'm talking about like self-sabotaging behaviors, like binging like 6 Netflix episodes in a row, or eating like cookie dough from the bin, or like the from the like the tub that you get in the grocery store. Like, if you stop beating yourself in the head with those bricks, you just remove all of these sources of of stress, of disease, of basically everything that you don't want. How many times do you put yourself in a situation that's like way worse than it actually has to be because you just refuse to stop smashing yourself in the head with a fucking brick? And it's everything. It's overspending on silly, stupid shit. It's scrolling endlessly on social media 5 hours a day, when you could be like moving something along. It's literally every single thing that is taking you away from what you want in this life. And the solution is to just stop doing silly shit, stop bashing yourself in the head with bricks. And paradoxically or interestingly, it's so much easier just not to do that. Like, you literally do less work than you would have to otherwise, by not engaging in these behaviors in the first place. You're literally doing less work than before, zero work, because it takes zero, like literally no effort not to do something, and you're gaining all of these benefits. So stop hitting yourself in the head with bricks. So I mean, like that, like, if you understand how that story relates to every situation in life, you get the point of this video. Now, I won't dive into a big discussion about Alan Watts, but he's one of my biggest intellectual influences, has been for a very long time. So things like the book, The Wisdom of Insecurity, and all of these books have just had a major positive impact on my life. The collected letters of Alan Watts, which is exactly what it sounds like, it's a collection of his personal letters. It's hilarious, and like you learn so much about him that's not necessarily presented in the books. His autobiography is called In My Own Way. That's another really spectacular one. And a long time ago, I sort of fell out of the habit of doing this, but I used to watch like these short little clips of Alan Watts like lectures on YouTube. And these are from like the 60s and stuff, and they're readily available on YouTube. And I'll link to maybe a couple of them here, maybe down in the video description. Now, these are not my videos. Obviously, you should be subscribed to this channel if you want my videos. But these are some of the just really short, really cool clips from his lectures and talks, and they really made a big difference in my life. And I look forward to to listening to them or watching them almost literally every single day. I just have a little sort of mini playlist of my favorites, and so I highly recommend Alan Watts, all of those books that I recommended. I actually just got a book today, and it's a biography of Krishnamurti, another one of my biggest intellectual influences, and he and Alan Watts were really good friends. And so definitely recommend Krishnamurti as well. Where I started with him was called The Revolution from Within, one of my favorite books of all time. And so, like I said, I won't dive into a big discussion, but stop hitting yourself in the head with bricks. It's fairly simple, like actually, like a stupidly simple idea to get, and it's one of those things that, like, nobody's perfect at it. You're gonna you dodge most of the bricks, but you're not gonna like miss all of them. You do things occasionally that are not in your best interests. But when you realize that you're just bashing yourself on the brick by doing these things, it becomes a lot easier to just not do that. And I'll mention this too: if you want my personal help to dodge some of these bricks that are flying your way, from your own hand, I work with consulting clients one-on-one, and I do this personally, like individually one-on-one, like I said. And I also have a school community called the Competitive Advantage, and so it's a fairly small group right now. But I mean, that just means you get individualized attention from me. There's about 35 of us, and these are creators, entrepreneurs, business owners, and we're all sort of trading advice and resources, connections, networking stuff, and basically kind of helping each other move our respective businesses and goals along. And so you're welcome to join us there. It's called the Competitive Advantage. Like I said, link down in the description. And I make YouTube videos regularly now. YouTube's one of my big content strategy pillars for 2024. Like, I'm really diving hard into YouTube, because I see it as like this big authority building platform. In the last 10 years, I've read 1,200 books, taken notes on all of them, and I love teaching what I've learned from these books, right? And YouTube's like just the natural place where, like, the best way to do it. So I'm making videos all the time here. So if that's your kind of thing, I definitely invite you to come back. And so I will see you in the next video. And remember, if you can dodge a brick, you can dodge a book.
FaceTime, go I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating. Yeah. Sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable.